Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. We are excited to once again be in your living rooms, be in your car speakers, wherever you're listening to today or watching. If you're watching my goofy face, I'm sorry. As always, we're sponsored by Health West. These guys are great. They're just a great company in Idaho. Just give them a holler. Give them a Google to find out where their closest clinic is to you and see how they can help you or your family. Man, recently I just got back, from the last episode from a business conference. We talked a lot about business growth, business sales, business, business buying, all the fun stuff. And I figured I'd continue to sum up some of the things that I've been learning, and I figured you guys could learn with me. Many of us, I'm sure that there's, are in the baby boomer generation, and they're looking to retire. Many of these individuals have small businesses, and this is great. They have a great generation. They're getting ready to retire, and this is good for people that are looking to expand their businesses. This is good for those people that are trying to get out. This is good for all the way around, for the people that are just looking for the opportunities to grow. As you're looking to grow your business or to expand your reach, and eventually, I'm sure you have the fleeting thought of eventually I'm going to sell. Eventually, I'm going to exit this business, or maybe it's passing it on to my children. Whatever it is, I'm sure you're going to want to grow it. And if you don't, maybe this episode's not for you. But if you do, let's talk. So when you go to exit, it's more than just revenue. It's more than just overall revenue they're going to look at. It's all fine and dandy if you have plenty of revenue, but if you have nothing to show after the end of the revenue, after all the costs are gone across, if there's nothing in the net profit category, again, that's not much of a business. So run your books clean, run them precise, so you can understand, okay, what's actually going on in this business. There are some intangible asset value that we need to talk about a little bit. Only 30 to 40% of how business valuations is truly calculated is really based off of the financial side of things. 60 to 70% of business value lies within the intangible assets, not always on the balance sheet. And these are the people, overall capacity, operational efficiency and precision, customer capital, reoccurring revenue, i.e., and brand and culture. This makes up 60 to 70% of the intangible assets when a business is being evaluated. And this could be shocking to some of us because many of us are probably thinking, I got to keep driving revenue. These employees are just employees. I know Spencer on this podcast has been talking processes and procedures, but I can go do it all. I can continue to build. I can continue to market. I continue to do everything in my business, and I can eventually sell for millions. Well, unfortunately, that's not how it works unless you can replicate yourself 10,000 times. It's just not how it is. So you can replicate yourself in a way, by setting up processes and systems and making your company run without you being there. And that is going to add to your intangible assets value. So this is a huge part that you need, if you don't have in place already, or to put in place, or if you do have in place already, but it's lacking, which we all have room to grow. That's one thing I'm doing after this podcast. There's a few things I need to tweak. There's a few things I'm going to incorporate. There's always something more. You're like, you know what? That needs to be better. Or, you know what? I don't have a system for this. Even the smallest thing, there needs to be a system for. So, make it happen. I'll give you an example of a system, because I know I say systems a lot, and I won't go off too far on a tangent. But for example, my insurance company and workers' comp company, they said, "Hey, we want you to have a distracted driver policy in place." Great. I think I reached out online, found a sample policy that we could use. I made that. I got that, sent over to my attorney, had him looked over. Great. Made some changes. Perfect. Put it in place. I sent that into my virtual assistant, who's in charge of my Bamboo HR. And Bamboo HR, if you can upload a document to it, and you can make it signable, and you can have your employees sign it on the actual mobile devices through the app. So I said, hey, upload this to Bamboo HR and make sure the employees sign it. Easy as that. And I know that is my VA is in charge of that, and she knows that's her purview. So just by saying, hey, get the employees to sign this, it's part of our new protocol with our insurance company, and have all new employees sign this, I know it's going to be taken care of, because she's going to upload it to our Bamboo HR profile. It's going to be given to all of our current employees. It's going to also be given to all of our new employees as they're being onboarded. So just that, by saying it one time, it's being done across the board. And it's also being done future tense, because I'm not going to have to continue to remind this person, hey, remember to onboard Tom. Hey, remember to onboard Mary with this document, along with these other documents. Remember this document, this document, this document. It just makes it simple. So have people that can do those things for you. And it's just very simple things. And this virtual assistant, she literally lives in Nigeria. Maybe one of these days I'll have her on. She's fantastic. And she just handles some of my HR stuff. She handles my Indeed jobs, and she handles that side of my business. And things go off typically without a hitch. Obviously we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. She's not perfect. But things run smoothly, and I don't have to do it, which is great. Anyways, let's get off of the intangible assets. But before I do, I guess we talk about, the customer capital of it. Reoccurring revenue is always sexy for a potential buyer. And then the brand and culture. What are your reviews looking like? What's your culture looking like within your business? They're probably going to look at your Indeed reviews, which, you're going to have some disgruntled people get on there. And it always seems like it's the disgruntled ones that like to get on there, even though if you feel like you left them on the best of terms, but they're still going to get on, and they're still going to say something. But that's okay. They can have their voice. Unfortunately, Indeed doesn't let you respond back like a Google does, which I think is a big downfall. But you can still have your other employees go on and give you good reviews, on Indeed. Don't force them. Just say, hey, if they're great and your good core value matches, just say, hey, would you mind, going out and give us a review here at this location. Making stuff to continue to improve your brand and your culture, so you can obviously continue to attract more people that are like you and your core values to your business. And the people that are humbugs and they leave and they're not really your core value matches, but they sneak in anyways, and they don't last long, but because they realize, hey, these people are all happy here and I don't like to be happy, so I'm going to leave and I'm going to write something negative about them because I'm not a happy person. Let them do that. So I regress a little bit. let that, be aware of those type of things. So take care of your people, put some systems in place. Be aware of your revenue. What kind of revenue is it? Do you have a type of business that's heavy revenue, that's seasonal revenue? If so, be careful how you operate your expenses. Make sure you're storing a rainy day fund so you have enough to last you through, so that the off season. Obviously, we know have operating lines of credit and stuff like that to help it. Having a little more cash makes things still makes you more sexy to buyers. Okay, now when we're thinking about growth, okay, you're growing your company organically. You're thinking, okay, cool. I'm marketing. I'm getting referrals. I'm growing every year. Great. Or maybe I took a dip last year, but I grew twice as much the year after. Fantastic. But say you're doing, $500,000 a year right now, and you're thinking, man, I'm getting close to retirement, or I'm just getting done with this type of business. I need to exit, but $500,000 a year isn't really going to get me to the exit number that I typically want. What's some of your options? Okay, you can continue to grow organically, great, and you can turn, you can pour some fuel on that fire. Hiring some good marketers. When I say good, some people that are actually proven. I've said this before. People that you find, that look at metrics, that can find, the metrics on Google, on Facebook, and see what's working, what's not working. Adjust your sales funnel, and put money where it belongs, and keep pushing until they actually find conversions and can keep pushing that throttle down. The other way, is to roll up another company that services their same type of company, your same type of customer. For example, if you're a roofing company, maybe I don't know the construction company business at all, but maybe you're not doing siding. And you know what? I'm going to pick up a siding company. Cool. Well, obviously, I know a lot of people that I put roofs on their houses for, or the businesses for. Many of them are going to probably want siding on their houses, or have that refinished years later. So then you can sell to the same customer, but you have double the products that you can sell. So you have two companies servicing the same customer. But the magic when you roll up two companies, you say one company's doing $500,000, the other company's doing, $2 million. Now you're doing revenue of $2.5 million just right overnight. Say the other company's doing, in expenses of, let's say the $500,000 companies their expenses are, say, $400,000 a year, their total cost. And the $3 million company, their total costs for the year are, $2.5 million. When you combine those companies, there's going to be some cost savings, because there's going to be people that already doing the same thing. You're not going to need, two bookkeepers. You're not going to need two of HR, people, or whatever it may be. There's going to be some redundancies that you can cut out. So there'll be some cost savings there, which will help your EBITDA. What is left, after the costs have gone through, that's going to go up, of course. Which in return is going to make your multiple go higher, because you have a total cost going down, you have revenue going up, and your EBITDA going up as well. So your full on net profits, you could be going from a couple $100,000 a year to close to $1 million a year, depending on where you're at with the cost savings. Now you're looking at multiples. Now let's talk about multiples here. Most companies, you're going to be, they typically sell between 2 and 4.5 multiple of the EBITDA of your company. If you have $1 million in revenue, you're looking at, typically 2.5 in multiples. But that doesn't account for, how easy it is to run your company. Because if you have systems and processes in place, customers and your employee, your social, your structure is set up, then that can go up. If you go up to 4 million to 5 million, then your multiple goes up as well, as long as your structure is in place. Those intangible assets we've talked about. But as you roll up another company, and you stay, and you continue to roll up. Say you after your siding company you rolled up, hey, I want to roll up a concrete company or whatever it may be. Okay, cool. I had a few more extra million in revenue, and then I have some more cost savings. Perfect. So it brings you up to a higher multiple because your revenue is higher and your EBITDA is higher, and hopefully your systems are higher because you're cascading your systems into all these businesses, into your intangible asset value. These are huge things that'll help you to exit your company faster. So I think many of us think, oh, it's impossible to buy businesses. I don't have the cash on hand to buy businesses. But if you ever talk to your SBA lenders, there's awesome options out there for you to buy, like businesses that you're currently in. I know for sure they'll loan up to 90% of the value of the business. So, and there's options to have possibly the business owner carry some of the note. There's so many options you can how you can skin that cat. But just remember, exiting your business will be the single biggest financial event of your life. So don't mess it up. So depending on where is your life-changing number is at, where's that at? It's depending on what strategy you're going to be taking when it comes to exiting your company. Are you going to look at rolling up other companies to strengthen up your revenue and your EBITDA? Or are you going to just continue with your overhead growth organically, turning some more fuel onto the fire and making things happen that way? So I hope some of the stuff I've talked about today is educational for you. Hopefully you can get some ideas and go talk to your lenders, go talk to other businesses that you may know that maybe are looking to get out, and maybe have some conversations with them, build some rapport and get to understand where they're at. But just remember, there's so many opportunities for you to grow and to develop your company and to make more money. But if you're not into that, that's fine as well too. If you're fine just making the current money you're at, by all means keep doing what you're doing. Whatever makes you happy, that's what it comes all down to. So as always, go out there, be happy, be grateful, and go out there and serve others and have yourself a fantastic week. That's the big one. Adios, my friends, and we'll see you next week.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.